This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English, and we are so glad to have you here because we got today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Okay, you and I, we like our Stanley Cups.
We
right?
do, yes.
How about that?
Cheers.
Cheers. So, a school district in Kentucky has just banned these
Altogether.
altogether. Any metal water bottle container is not allowed in school anymore. They did this about a week before school started, so some parents, of course, are outraged. But they're saying there have been too many injuries with kids hitting each other over the head with these things that the injuries have piled up so much that they've decided no more. We have to stop. Now, that goes for school hours, but after school activities for sports and whatnot, they're able to bring their metal water bottle container if they want. Otherwise, they have to use plastic.
What I like seeing in schools is you see them at the airports where you can put an actual water bottle on it and fill it up and that sort of thing. Why can't, just go plastic? But here's the thing, those things are not cheap.
No.
We're talking like $50 for one in the first place. And I can imagine, just like clothes, kids want the best one altogether.
Yes.
And then there's families that there's no way. My family, the English family, is not going to pay $50
For a kid to take a metal
that he's going to lose.
Right.
Because I can't tell you how many water bottles, we just went down, and then you have to watch with plastic too, because if it gets too hot, so I can understand that. But it seems like somebody could come in and sponsor a bunch of water bottles that are approved that they would want and just put their logo on it. Kids are going to put stickers all over it anyway.
So my one question is this. I mean, how did we survive? Didn't we have thermoses?
Thermoses, yes.
We did in a lunchbox.
Yeah,
You're
right, in a
right.
lunchbox. I don't know how we survived. It's like every little thing you got to ban because the kids don't know how to behave. It's crazy.
Yeah, we had the metal lunchboxes.
That's it, right.
Too,
Yeah, I don't remember anybody beating each other over the head with a metal lunchbox or a thermos.
I ain't getting up my Dukes of Hazzard lunchbox because Richie Provini made fun of me. I'm not going to do that at all,
Yeah.
It was I remember getting mine. I was like, man, I can't.
it was
I was
great.
like, I know, I'm going to put my thermos on this side. The sandwich is going to be right here. Now you should see what they have. Now they have accoutrements and everything.
Yeah.
Charcuterie board.
Charcuterie board. Exactly. They could. You're 100% right. But I think I can appreciate this only because of the fact that I know that kids always want the best, and these things are very expensive, and it's just something that not every family can afford.
I didn't think about that. I was just so shocked that kids are hitting each other with them that I was just like, really?
If you think about it, you got a good grip on it. I mean, you could really do something.
You could really hurt somebody. And they were saying that the increase in injuries they've spiked so much in one school district that they're like, we can't have this anymore.
Can we talk about that too? Didn't they do a comparison between, I won't call out the most expensive one of these, the Stanley Cup, I guess I just did. But then they compared them to like the cheaper versions. They put like the water and the ice in it, and they're pretty much the same anyway. It's amazing what they can do.
Right.
I mean, they can. You can attest to it. They put ice in it. By the end of the day, it's still there. But the fact that it's just a status symbol.
That's it. It's like everything. Purses. Louis Vuitton. It's not real. Only the handles are leather. Oh, I didn't say that out loud.
Now, and if this school district thinks that the kids won't find something else as a weapon, they're going to. But I can understand the fact that they would just want to get rid of them.
Now, James, in your experience with the football team and the boys, are they using these? No.
We don't.
They have the squirt bottles.
We had the squirt bottles.
Squirt bottles, okay.
They go through them like crazy, which is great because I always tell them hydrate because it's hot outside. But no one does that. That's a chick thing.
Okay, so girls would be more likely to pull hair and hit each other with the Stanley Cup.
She spent $50 on it. Like, you could have used that for 1,000 other
that
things.
That is true.
Except for a cup that you're gonna toss to the side.
Did y'all have a trough? Y'all made a trough when I played football?
No.
You get these PVC pipes, and then you get a pipe that goes on the top. Imagine like a tripod, like a workhorse. And it had holes drilled in it, and you just hook a hose up to it and through water, and you go.
So we have something almost like that. It's like a big tank, but it's run off a motor, and once you pull it, it comes out. But in high school, Yeah. We would,
but it was
we
like
would drink out of
handmade.
hose in high school. We
Pass the
didn't
hose
care.
around. We
All
did
right,
that.
just
Yeah.
get water,
Now
let's
they
go
have
back.
to have
Yep.
with their
Yeah.
name on it.
Totally different.
That's
nowadays.
funny.
Totally different.
All right, tell us, good idea, bad idea.
Yeah.
Does your kid have one? If he was banned from taking it to school, what would you think? We want to hear from you.
All right, James,
Yes.
you've got your question of the day.
So I have a great idea for you. For this question of the day,
Okay.
I kind of want to tap into a sensitive side.
Okay.
What happy mistake paid off?
Happy mistake paid
Ooh,
off.
potato chips.
Really?
Yeah, you know how it was made is
Yeah.
that she accidentally dropped she was slicing potatoes
I didn't
and
know
it
that.
fell into grease and then she took it, hey, that's pretty good. That's
No way.
that's
Did
a-
she give away the idea? She's-
probably so. I probably would have lost a lot of
Yeah.
money doing it, but that's mine at least.
Okay.
I love me some potato chips.
Oh gosh, I need to think about this one, James.
All right, so mine is a little. I'll make it short.
Okay.
I was applying for another show that we were a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I left it on the laptop. A friend of mine came by. It's like, oh, you didn't finish that. Press plus, and she pressed send, and it sent my application to our former friend.
Is
who's
that
part of it.
right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's how I got to the Daily Buzz.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
interesting,
That is
because-
a happy mistake.
Somebody was intrusive and hit your.
Yep. I got 2 kids by her. So.
There you go. All right, well, yeah.
All right.
So,
All
yeah,
right.
so
And
that
they
was-
weren't happy mistakes.
Right. And that's, right. We were just happy. It was fun. It was fun. But no, I was sitting there. I was debating whether or not I should send it because I was
There you
coming
go.
from Baltimore.
Yeah.
It's like I would have to move all the way down to Florida. Yeah,
here you
that's
are.
what happened.
I remember when James first came in.
Yeah.
What was it,
We was
25 years
Daytona.
ago, whatever.
Oh, we were dating. I'm sorry. We were dating.
And it's like, man, this is a big dude, man.
I know.
I better listen to him.
Exactly.
I love it. I
James,
love it.
good question. Where can people answer if they want to take
They
part?
can always go to our website, dailyflashshow.com, and click on
Sound off.
Question of the day.
Sound off.
Sound off. Very good. Single women are calling men with roommates the new dating deal breaker. They say partners who live alone show independence, financial stability, and maturity are where it is at. Many women insist it's a hard no if a man still shares a place. Now, men defend the arrangement as a smart money-saving move, especially in expensive cities. Some experts note rising housing costs do make roommates a smart financial choice. Women counter that with past experiences they've had with roommates and have set higher standards for themselves.
All right. I say this all the time, and there's nothing wrong with either one of these. Women work off emotion, where men work off logic.
Yes.
Would you agree, or is that
agree,
sexist? Okay.
100%.
So if you go back and say that, emotion is like, oh, you're not tight, if you want to take it.
Yeah.
And logic, you said it. Well, this makes sense. I don't. Have to,
yes.
You're going to save money. I'm going to save money.
Yeah.
Not thinking the fact that you'll probably wind up, fighting all the time because you're putting 2 people together and never done
Yeah.
that before. So I could see that this makes a lot of sense. And that independence really does. You almost want somebody that's independent if you think about it,
Yeah,
right?
I
Because
think so.
they want to be with you. They don't have to be with you.
Right, and I think there's sort of a line in the sand I think you could draw, and maybe it's different now because people are trying to save money. But if you still live in the basement at your parents' house, maybe not the best date potential. I'm just saying that.
Don't count him out.
Would you-
Don't count him out.
Would you add that as long as they had a plan? I mean, because to me that
Yes.
I would say, wow,
Now,
he's saving money.
Exactly.
That's true. Now, see, because I can appreciate that.
Yeah,
I can
right.
appreciate the fact that he's saving
Right.
money, because obviously that makes smart
You
sense.
gotta give him a chance, because once you heard parents, you be like, I ain't doing that.
But-
True.
It makes a more investment for you because you're like, all right, is that what he's just saying, or is he just, a mama's boy? So I
True.
can understand that. So if you do live in your parents' basement, you got to make sure that you can sell yourself to say, look, I know I do.
Yeah.
It's not the ideal, but I really want to do this because I'm going to be yada yada,
Yeah.
and I'm saving money for yada yada. That seems to me would be
I
very
agree.
like, well, this
Yeah.
guy's got his life planned out. It
Right,
seems like.
but I do
I'm
think
dating.
there comes a time, though.
I'm
I
married.
think, yeah, you did.
He's got a good plan.
He's got a great plan. I love it. I love your plan. I do think there comes a time though when the roommate thing becomes an issue. Like in college, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
I remember there was always, whenever I dated a guy, there was always the best friend guy that would come along. So it was all, there's
Yeah.
always that. And I think guys are more like that than girls are. But I think, when you're in college and you're younger, you have to give people some grace. Obviously, roommates do make financial smart sense. But as you get a little bit older and maybe into a career, that's when I think.
It's roommates. maybe like non-romantic or whatever, it does teach you how to deal with other people.
That's true.
When I was a missionary, like they would put us together where somebody I'd never met in my life, and you were with that person 24 hours a day, and you have no idea. And if they snore, you got to deal with it, or if they're, they leave their clothes everywhere, you got to do that as well.
I'm going to tell you, look, I agree with the ladies on this one. Sorry, fellas, I agree with the ladies.
Okay.
You should have your own place. As you get older, you should have your own place. But would you care if the roommate was a woman, if she's living with a guy?
I would. Absolutely.
Three's company. I mean, you gotta, right?
Because there's that Seinfeld episode, right? George falls in love with, he's attracted to a woman, she's got a roommate, and he can't quite figure it out. But the same thing, I wouldn't.
Brain flash question today. In chess, which piece can only move diagonally? Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. Let's see if you got today's Brain Flash question correct. Here is that question. In chess, which piece, or what piece rather, can you only move diagonally? You know what it is. It's the bishop.
Ooh, the bishop.
The bishop is the one. All right, hopefully you got that right. All right, welcome back to Daily Flash. Mitch English here, along with Andrea Jackson. We all had those negative thoughts about ourselves from time to time, but do you ever think that those thoughts actually can shape how we see ourselves and affect our own self-worth? Well, our next guest, Jackie Elliott, she's got a new book out. It's called The Silent Bully, A Journey from Abusive Brain Chatter to Self-Love. It's important that you listen to this. She joins us now with some advice on how to quiet that chatter. She's down in Mexico. She tells us she is completely fine down there as well. Hi, Jackie. Welcome to Daily Flash.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I think, as I was researching a little bit before I was talking to you, I think every person is guilty of this, and we don't even realize we do it. But we need to back up a little bit. Explain what ABC, or abusive brain chatter, is all about.
Okay, so as you said, we all have negative thoughts.
Yeah.
But abusive brain chatter is emotional abuse that we put onto ourselves. So, in other words, it's gaslighting ourselves. It's any kind of self-talk that holds us back. If we feel we're not good enough, then we're not gonna go for a better job. If we feel we're not pretty enough, we may not try to get a relationship. If we feel this is all we deserve, we may stay in toxic relationships. It's really what emotional, it's what I say is it's a negative talk on steroids.
Yeah.
And I think we've all heard other people say that, oh, I'm so stupid. I'll never get a job like that. Or God, I flubbed that. And they're going to think I'm an idiot. And, that kind of berating of yourself. I call it abusive brain chatter because it's important to understand that it is abuse. It is emotional self-bullying.
And we do it more. I find myself like I'll write something wrong, let's just say, and I go, man, I'm so stupid. I shouldn't have. I'm doing it. And we have trained ourselves to do this. This is very important stuff that we need to get out of our vernacular and B, out of our mind altogether. So you've helped us out by creating a very simple yet transformative set of tools. And since it's abusive chatter, ABC, you've got the tools how we can fix the ABCs. Let's start off with A. What does A stand for?
So A stands for awareness. And I think this is the most important. With any problem, you have to first be aware. And I think we're so used to, hearing people berate themselves and berate ourselves that we're not even aware we're doing it. Like you said, and it's not just, oh, I did something stupid. It's more of really looking in the mirror and saying, oh my God, you look so ugly. You look so old. It's that kind of berating. So I always say to people, the first thing you have to do is just start writing down your thoughts. What are the negative thoughts that you have? And, for a week, if you take a little notebook and you say, oh, there, I looked in the mirror and I said I looked ugly. I wanted to go for that job, but I am too afraid because I think I'm stupid.
Sure.
Just start being aware of what you're saying to yourself. But in addition to that awareness, we have to be aware of the signs of emotional abuse. So emotional abuse is bullying, belittling, gaslighting, isolating, any kind of thing that is there to lower your self-esteem.
Jackie, and, I want to make sure we get through all this, the ABC. So I want to kind of move on here because what you're saying is very important by all means. But our next letter is B, and that is believe. Believe, not explain belief on that one. Do I believe on that person or what?
Yeah, so believe is more of a spiritual type of thing. If you try to change I always say you can't change your brain with your own brain. You have to tap into something, a higher self, something that you can believe in. You have to first tap into that voice that tells you you're good enough, you're loving. You have to find a loving voice and start believing that voice.
And that I would imagine you need to do and recognize quickly after you're like, no, I'm not stupid. I'm actually a really smart person. That's at least that's what I do, and it's been helping me. Finally, you say that letter C is challenge. How do we challenge ourselves?
Well, we challenge our core beliefs.
There you go. Okay.
If you have a belief that you can't excel in your work, or that you have to be perfect, that's a core belief. And you say, where did I hear that from? Where did that come from? I don't have to be perfect. Core belief was my father said I had to work hard and that was all that mattered. So we examine our core beliefs. For example, I had a core belief I wasn't pretty. So, and that was just as a result of the way I was raised. And so for my entire life, I was looking, I always felt less than, and I was looking for relationships, that affirmed that.
Yeah.
So that's the most important thing, is challenging your core beliefs. I ran a marathon to prove that I could really, that I could do that. It was a triathlon. I came in last, but the point is I challenged that core belief that I was weak.
It's important to do that, right?
It's very important to do that. And it's just as simple as, oh, gee, I'm holding myself back from writing that book. B, okay, you know what? I think inside of me is a loving book, and I'd like that to share that book. I have a loving voice. And then C, where did I learn that I couldn't write a book, or who told me that? Well, my parents never supported me, or, I failed an English class. That's where I got that core belief. And so it's just those simple, it sounds simple, but it's those steps that we just remind ourselves every time we hear ourselves holding ourselves back or making a negative thought.
Yeah, we got to move forward. We're our worst critics, and everything you say. When I was a kid, my brother told me I was fat, and I look back at pictures and I wasn't, and it makes me so mad that I believed it. And I wound up growing up being really fat, having to lose all that weight. Thank you so much, Jackie, and for being on the show, and we're happy that you're safe down in Mexico as well. You at home, if you want to find out more information and get a copy of Jackie's book, The Silent Bully, just visit JackieElliottABC.com, and we'll have this link on our website.
Wondering how aesthetic treatments can help you look your best? Dermatologist Dr. Mona Gohara, in partnership with Allergan Aesthetics, is here with more. Doctor, great to have you. There's a lot of conversation online about unnatural filler results. What's your reaction to this, and what causes issues like filler migration?
So I think the most important thing to remember is exactly what you just said, Andrea. Online, you have to consider the source. I can tell you, as a board-certified dermatologist for the past 20 years, that hyaluronic acid filler treatments are safe. They create a natural result, a customizable result. And if it's done by a board-certified dermatologist or a board-certified plastic surgeon, you will be happy as a clam. So the key is to consider the source. Don't look at those overpuffed lips or those overpuffed cheeks. Just go to a provider who knows what they're doing. In terms of filler migration, sure, that can happen. It is not common at all. It isn't something that we see in our offices on a regular or daily basis. So again, I encourage you to follow the science, not the hype.
I think that's great advice, and this follows into the next question, really. What should patients expect during and after treatment, and how can they ensure they get the results they want?
That's a great question. So first, pick your provider, right? So you want to make sure that you're going to a board-certified plastic surgeon or dermatologist to get the treatment. Second, have a plan. Make sure that they know what you expect and you know what they expect. Have a plan. You want to tell your doctor that you want a natural result, right? So you get a natural result. Third, you want to pick the right product. I personally like hyaluronic acid fillers because they are great at replacing age-related volume loss. And then you want to have patience. So just remember that nothing happens overnight, but the results you get will be amazing.
That is so true, especially when it comes to beauty and this kind of thing. Shortcuts are not a good idea. Questions and patience, as you mentioned, are a very good idea. Where can our viewers go to learn more or find a qualified provider?
Great question. Patients can go to naturallyyouwithha.com.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll post this interview on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI.
All right, thank you there, Andrea. Very interesting stuff there. Some trending news stories. Weight loss medications actually have moved beyond the medicine cabinet. Now they're actually in the hiring conversation. Recent surveys show that growing share of workers are either using or planning on using weight loss medications as part of their health goals. Independent reports show that employers from the tech industry to even healthcare are adapting medical benefits to reflect these new priorities. Vendors are now making GLP-1 coverage easier for employees to manage. So they're really, if you look at this, is more like a benefit that you're receiving, because so many people are going on these weight loss products, and they know, hey, if you sign on with us, your insurance is going to cover these weight loss, and that's interesting.
Isn't it fascinating that something that was intended for diabetes has turned into this, at least a U.S. phenomena, and if not a global phenomena for people who are looking to lose weight. And I still question, the legitimacy of this drug for some people who are using it for instant gratification.
And it seems there's that look, that gaunt look that they have as well, right?
Have you seen Kelly Osbourne?
That's funny you said that. That's who I was thinking about when I said that.
My goodness.
Unrecognizable.
Unrecognizable.
But, and they'll say it, and I've lost a lot of weight. Everybody knows that. And I was just talking about this on the radio about, so he goes, I don't even remember you like that.
Yeah.
But because I look so different. He says, I didn't even know that was you. We were talking about pictures or whatever. And it goes, we see it, the people that have to lose the weight, and we see the struggles. And so it's hard for a lot of people that maybe are healthy and they do the right things, like exercise and do that. But once you get to a point, it's really hard to lose that weight. I can see how it would help keep and retain employees.
Yeah, sure.
Because you're like, I don't want to quit because I have great benefits.
Right.
Including this. So.
And that's a huge draw, I think, for people. Well, a new singles scene is unfolding in medieval times, believe it or not.
Really?
It's Dinner with the Jousting Tournament. Now these helmet-clad knights have become the hottest new alternative to Hinge, believe it or not. Between sword fights and royal decrees, flirty knights are locking eyes with female customers. They even toss roses into the crowd and crown one lucky spectator the queen of the tournament. Dating experts say it's giving modern romance a medieval makeover. With 10 castle locations across the U.S. and Canada, fans are hopping aboard the Chivalry Express, proving this isn't a one castle crush.
And if the date doesn't work out, you can say, well, I met a nice wench there. Right? And it's okay. You can say that because...
Not my knight in shining armor.
Lots of puns you can be able to use there. We want you to come back and have some more fun with us. We got more of today's talk, tomorrow's trends still to come right here on Daily Flash.
KSA Entertainment is dedicated to uplifting the communities we serve. Through KSA Cares, we're bringing awareness to the causes that matter most, supporting those who work tirelessly to make a difference. From honoring veterans to championing environmental responsibility, KSA Cares is committed to inspiring positive change. At KSA Entertainment, we're here for the stories that bring us closer. Innovate with us. We can make a difference. This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Let's check in with James Alexander.
Yes.
Sweet baby James.
Oh,
What's up,
yes.
brother?
You can find this show in 107 southern markets across this country and across the globe on American Forces Network. And guess what? You can go to our website at dailyflashshow.com and click on where to watch to find out where we are in your neck of the woods. Now, we're going to our local friend down in a very nice place.
Where's that at, James?
They have 11,000 virgins down there. The U.S. Virgin Islands, WVGN TV.
Ooh, how about
11,000
that?
virgins. So that's where the Virgin Islands come from. It's named for 11,000 virgins. Christopher Columbus named the islands after Saint Ursula, a legendary 4th century leader of 11,000 virgins who were said to have been martyred. The name was shortened to Las Virgenes and eventually became the Virgin Islands.
How about that?
I got to get my accent correct. The Virgin Islands.
And what's cool about it is that there's a U.S.
U.S. Virgin Islands and the
then
British Virgin
Islands.
Islands. Yep, they're right
different
across the street
governments.
from each other's.
Right
Weird.
there.
Love it. Oh, good stuff.
Well, and a beautiful area down there.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
a
The
butterfly.
ladies'
I did some stories in the Virgin Islands at one time. I got to do if you wear a certain cologne, these butterflies will land all over you.
Really?
I thought that was
Really?
kind of cool. I mean,
Oh.
it's in a dome. It's a botanical garden kind of thing.
It attracts the ladies too.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, I just thought it was cool, butterflies on me. But I know, as I say that, is like the least manly thing in the world. As I went into that conversation, I sounded like, oh, I love the butterflies all over me. I didn't mean it like that. I'll tell you, he's beautiful. You talk about right? You guys are thinking it. Don't lie. It's like, wow, English
For
is
a
really.
second there, I'm like,
English is
okay,
really
well,
into
that's
butterflies.
a new one.
I wasn't. I just thought it was cool that insects would land on you. All righty.
Looking
I'll
for
tell
the
you what
tattoo
is beautiful. Y'all know who Donna Mills is?
Yes.
Yeah, I know
Remember her
Donna
at
Mills.
Falcon Crest, I think it was?
Dallas,
Was it-
was she on Dallas too? Yeah, one of those.
Around that time. She is 85 years old. Okay?
Wow. Okay.
And you know what? One way to stay relevant is be out there. Well,
Yeah.
she actually is on OnlyFans now.
No.
Okay, now before you freak out, everything's nice. Look how beautiful she
She's
still
gorgeous.
is.
Gorgeous.
And she actually is getting a big following on it.
85.
85 years old, Donna Mills. And of course, because anytime you're on OnlyFans, you're going to get weird requests to do stuff. She has. And she actually submitted to one, which was she owns a vineyard, and
Okay.
she received a request for a video of her stomping grapes.
Barefoot.
Right, barefoot. And obviously it's from a foot fetish.
Yeah.
She said she was happy to do it. This guy said, look, I have a foot fetish. I want to see you squashing. Money will do anything, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So she had no idea what OnlyFans was beforehand, and she says she is not. Again, there's no explicit contents on there at all. She's actually just showing like behind the scenes stuff and that sort of thing, and kind of parts of her career too.
I feel better about it now.
Yeah. And she likes the fact that she could talk back and forth. And then on top of all that, these are people paying money to actually go see it. Now, OnlyFans started off as supposed to be nice and innocent stuff.
No, it didn't.
No, it did.
Did it really?
But nobody knew about it.
Well, of course.
Until
yeah.
they
so
go.
then they sexed
and
it up.
somebody
and then-
bought it and go, it was, I watched a little thing on it, a documentary kind of, and then somebody bought it and go, well, if we really want to make money,
Right.
just like everything.
Yeah.
It blew up.
It
during
blew up.
COVID,
So
right?
now we know OnlyFans, and there's all kinds of copycat sites
Right.
as well. I still find it interesting that somebody would, I guess if you really are a fan of somebody, you would pay money to be inside their life, but you are giving up that. Take away from, I'm not talking explicit material, because more and more celebrities are going on and doing
This is the
non-explicit
extra
stuff.
money,
Would y'all do it?
extra
Would you,
revenue.
like if your favorite star, you don't have to say who it is, but you wanted to keep up to date, would you pay
No.
$11 a month?
Don't
No.
care.
I don't think I would either.
Nope.
You almost want to go, you know what? I don't want to know too much about that
Yeah.
person.
I know too much
Right?
about most celebrities anyway, and
Right.
that's because of social media.
Right.
So I don't really care, and no, I wouldn't pay. That's a waste of money.
And if they do something outrageous, you're going to hear about it anyway,
Yeah.
and somebody's going to bootleg it and get
Well,
it. So I really,
it's another stream of revenue, but
Yeah.
the next thing is not OnlyFans, but streaming. We were talking about that back in the
microdramas are
That's
actually
it.
the next big
Yeah,
thing.
that
Count
is
on
true. The
microdramas
vertical
everywhere.
dramas,
$150 billion a year industry is microdramas. Can
And
you believe
Netflix and Paramount are both opening.
Not only
studios.
that, the WWE, The Tonight Show, and Daily Show are all producing their own microdramas. We are going to be doing one, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
You're watching Daily Flash. Time now for The Scene with Doreen.
Tommy James of Tommy James and the Shondells have created some of the greatest songs of all time. Hits like Crystal Blue Persuasion, Crimson and Clover, Moni Moni, I Think We're Alone Now, and he's celebrating the 60th birthday of his breakout hit, Hanky Panky. I can't wait to dig in. Check it out. So I'm on the internet and I find a video of you singing karaoke recently in a bar.
Well, I want you to know I wasn't drinking, believe it or not. And I actually was having dinner on the other side of the bar, and as I'm walking out, I went to shake hands with the fellow who was playing the music, and he's got tracks, karaoke tracks of my songs, and he asked me if I would do one of them. So he just handed me a mic, and I'm like, humming. So I just started singing, and I can't believe then somebody videotaped it, and it went viral. One of my biggest shows was from a bar.
The re-release of your breakout hit Hanky Panky turned 60 this year. And I say re-release because it wasn't until 2 years after you put it out that it hit #1.
I get this call from a Pittsburgh distributor and a nightclub DJ telling me that Hanky Panky was bootlegged in Pittsburgh, and they sold 80,000 of them in 10 days, and it was sitting at #1. And a week later, we're in New York selling the master. We got a yes from everybody. Literally, we got a yes from Columbia, got a yes from RCA, Atlantic, and the last place we took it to was Roulette. Morris Levy, the head of Roulette Records, had called all the other record companies and backed them down.
Oh my God. Oh.
He said, "This is my record." The label was a front for one of the crime families, and while we were moaning and hanky panky and all that stuff, this very dark and sinister story was going on behind us that we couldn't talk about.
You have had so many artists cover your music. In fact, covers of I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany and Mony Mony by Billy Idol, they both reached Billboard #1 consecutively in back-to-back weeks in November 1987. You kept making hits.
I, at the time in '87, did not know that either one of those artists were doing my songs.
Wow.
And we were flying out to LA, my wife and I, and she's got a copy of Billboard, and she goes, "Look at this." And they both got reviewed the same week. They came out the same week. Wow. And they followed each other up the charts like they were holding hands. Lo and behold, they both got up to #1. They both went #1 back to back.
Amazing.
That had never happened before. I couldn't believe it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tommy James.
I love performing, and I love mixing it up with the fans. We're sold out pretty much all the time. I can say it's as good now or better than it's ever been.
Visit TommyJames.com, check out his upcoming tour dates, get a copy of his book, Me, the Mob, and the Music, One Hell of a Ride, and just stay connected to everything that is the amazing Tommy James. Chatting with Tommy was one hell of a ride. And if you want to hear more of our great conversation, visit here. I'm Doreen Taylor with The Scene with Doreen, here at the Daily Flash each week. See you next time.
You know, most people don't experience signs or even symptoms of cancer until it's in its advanced stages. Early detection of cancer can actually mean more treatment options and more time with the people you love. Here's more.
Hey, babe. Ooh, looks like a busy day.
So busy we might have to skip pickleball. First things first, I'm scheduling my mammogram and gyno appointments. You know, to check for cancer, something you should think about.
Me? But I don't have the...
You have a colon and you're over 45.
I thought that screening starts at 50.
It's 45, and I wonder if you're eligible for lung cancer screenings. Didn't you smoke in college?
But hey, I mean, I feel great now. I mean, look at this.
And seriously, remember, if there's something, early detection equals better outcomes. The doctor's called. I got the all clear.
Woohoo! And you'll be happy to know I scheduled my cancer screenings too.
Now that's a reason to hit the court and celebrate. Go to preventcancer.org to find out the cancer screenings you need.
Check your health. Early detection equals better outcomes.
The average age of menopause is around 52, but symptoms can start much earlier, sometimes as early as the mid to late 30s. Joining us now is board-certified OBGYN Dr. Donna Adams Pickett, a spokesperson for Cunel, to help us better understand what women can expect during this stage of life. So, doctor, what should women expect during perimenopause and menopause?
Well, menopause is a significant transition for the nearly 1.3 million women who experience it in the U.S. a year. And while hot flashes are your most recognized symptoms, they can affect nearly every aspect of your life during menopause. In fact, nearly 80% of women experience symptoms such as hot flashes, brain fog, night sweats, and fatigue. And many feel overwhelmed by those changes. And they search for support and not even realize that these are part of menopause itself.
How can they find support through the menopause journey?
Well, a comprehensive approach is key. And that includes optimizing lifestyle habits like making intentional dietary changes, staying active, prioritizing sleep, and incorporating trusted supplements. And that's why I recommend Cunel Menopause Relief. It's hormone-free, estrogen-free supplement designed to support women during all stages of menopause. It's actually formulated to support 12 common physical and mental symptoms, including that brain fog, that focus and attention, but also dizziness, mood swings, skin discomfort, and vaginal dryness. It's formulated with 2 clinically active ingredients to provide comprehensive support. Cognizin citicoline, a highly absorbable nutrient shown to improve support mood, as well as focus and attention to help with that brain fog. And then there's Estrogen 100, which helps those physical symptoms like joint discomfort, fatigue, night sweats, and vaginal dryness. In a clinical study, 75% of women reported high satisfaction with their improvement in overall symptoms, and nearly 97% reported improvement in their hot flashes. The best part, it works pretty fast in as little as 4 weeks.
And you can find it at CVS and Amazon starting at $24.99. That's great. What else should we do?
The best thing to do is to speak with your doctor. Tell them that I'm going through these changes. Don't be afraid to talk about it, because you know what? We do have support out there for you. Cunel Menopause Relief is one of them.
Well, Neo explains the hard work behind his relationship with not 1, not 2, but 3 women. The 46-year-old singer appeared on The Sherri Show and revealed that he chose to pursue a different situationship after an ugly divorce. The R&B artist recalled approaching his girlfriend last spring about his desire to date other women and make them all part of one relationship. The singer-songwriter prefers his trio of girlfriends not date other men. But it's okay for him to have 3 women, but the women can't date other men. Okay.
To me, why would you want that many headaches? And then remembering things. Just the other day, the common joke, maybe you've done this, was like, hey, didn't we see this movie, yada, yada?
Yeah.
That was with another girlfriend or whatever. You're running into that when you're dating 3 women at the same time. But apparently, and I'm of the belief, look, if that's what works for you, I can't see how it is. And it'd be confusing to kids, I would imagine, as well, if you had children with any of them.
Yes.
I don't know if that's the case or not.
If it works for the women. James?
I knew you were going to say something. I was like, I wish James was in.
James?
I got to agree with Mitch. It is a headache.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun.
No doubt about that.
It's a lot of fun.
No doubt about that.
I can see that. But how do you keep the names straight?
That's what I would. Yeah. The hardest part would be keeping names together.
And birthdays and dates straight.
Girl number 1, girl number 2, girl number 3.
Door number 1. You said door, right? I want to make sure you said door.
Oh, girl number 1.
You trying to get me in trouble with HR.
And you just call all of them hun or babe or dear.
It's easier.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
If that's your thing, all right, that's your thing. And
I suppose so.
if it brings everybody happiness, then God bless.
I guess so. All right. Well, Amy Robach and TJ Holmes are reportedly sending wedding invites to their exes, believe it or not. 3 years after their scandalous romance led to their firing from GMA3, the duo are including their exes on the guest list. The future bride and groom don't expect them to show, but wanted to extend an invite anyway. Their relationship was exposed back in November of 2022 following their suspension from ABC. Insiders say the relationship was in violation of the morality clause in their network contracts. The two were married to other spouses at the time of their firing and affair. They have since divorced, clearing the slate for the duo to marry. To this day, Robach and Holmes insist they were not cheating while they were married. And did I hear a rumor that their ex-spouses are dating?
That's what I had heard. Yes, I think Hugo was mentioning that to us. Yeah, that they were dating, which is like a total sitcom if you think about that. And the GMA3, that's a Subaru, right? That's one of the GMA3.
That was a mid-morning show no one watched on ABC.
Okay. All right, yeah, I'm sure about that. We are talking about affairs. Some salacious stuff about Bill Gates.
Yes, it just dropped on the New York Post that Bill Gates admits to having an affair, not one but two affairs, at least two affairs with Russian women in connection with Jeffrey Epstein.
And let me tell you, taking this, everybody wants to know what's on the files and everything. I think maybe he's doing damage control now, which
probably.
Hey, admit to it, don't lie about it, and that's the only thing I can say that's about good out of this is that he's taking responsibility.
The problem with too much money and too much power is that you have access to everything, and sometimes I think that clouds your judgment and you make some poor choices. And obviously he was married and had kids, I believe, at the time that he had these affairs, at least married. So I think those were some poor choices on his point.
And when you are a billionaire and your spouse and you get a divorce gets half, and you have half of the hundreds of billions, that's still a lot of money.
A lot of money.
It's all about pride after that point, I guess.
KSA Entertainment is dedicated to uplifting the communities we serve. Through KSA Cares, we're bringing awareness to the causes that matter most, supporting those who work tirelessly to make a difference. From honoring veterans to championing environmental responsibility, KSA Cares is committed to inspiring positive change. At KSA Entertainment, we're here for the stories that bring us closer. Innovate with us. We can make a difference.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. We always want to leave you on a high note, so that's why we want to tell you something good.
This is going to make you feel really good. We go to Belton, Texas, and what started as a simple visit between high school volleyball players and a local senior living community actually turned into an unlikely and actually heartwarming friendship, all thanks to a game called Chair Volleyball.
Chair Volleyball. Okay, the residents at Woodland Cottages call themselves the Hit Squad, and they face off with the Lake Belton High School team in friendly matches that are less about winning and more about laughing, connecting, and just moving together. The rules are simple. Everyone stays seated, the ball goes over the net, and the competition gets fierce. But the real magic happens after the serve, when stories are shared and generations learn from each other.
Really cool. The friendship has actually gone beyond the court. Seniors even surprised the students by showing up to cheer for them at a school game. So they kind of did the other way around. That's really cool, proving that it just isn't an activity, it's a bond. Staff say that the partnership has boosted spirits, created some purpose, actually brought a new kind of energy to both the students and the residents.
After all, it's a little reminder that connection does not have an age limit. It is indeed ageless, and sometimes all it takes is a ball, a net, and a little heart, and that is something good.
I agree with that. And, sitting there thinking, this could be a new sport. If they have a sport where two people are going to run into each other, chair volleyball, actually, I think we could even play it here in the show. Yes. It'd be actually kind of fun. Even I could start seeing, how they have the retreats for companies, maybe like that could be an exercise of bonding.
The competition,
Right?
I think so too. And it's so important too, especially for our senior community, that they have something to look forward to every day and something to keep them active and engaged. And this keeps them active, it keeps them engaged, and it also keeps them connected to a generation.
Really cool. Now, if you want more information about everything we talked about here on the show, head to our website, dailyflashshow.com. Bye-bye, y'all.
Everybody.